Hello to all my dear followers and welcome to this fanfic, the one you've been asking about quite a lot in the comments. So I hear you and I'm gonna bring you the 6th season of What If Naruto Fell in Love with INO and TENTEN and Mastered the FUINJUTSU. As always, remember that if you want more seasons, don't forget to give your comment asking for the next season and give your like and subscribe for more. So we're gonna start.
Chapter 15, Final Zai, Shikamaru vs. Temari. Ino looked around as people headed towards the stadium to witness the finals. Where will he be? She asked, hoping to see her best friend and almost boyfriend. I haven't seen him for 2 days. Is he mad at me or something? She murmured apprehensively. Ino remembered that the last time she had seen Nagato was on their date 2 days ago. He had been insistent on going on a date 2 days after the incident with Naruto. And although Ino tried to refuse, she couldn't say no to the chestnut-haired boy's pleading face. It wasn't that she didn't want to go out with him, because she did. She was just hesitant because she didn't want to repeat the same things that happened with Sasuke. She wanted to take things slowly for the time being. Did I say something to offend him that time? She thought. I don't remember anything that bothered him enough to make him not want to see me. Felt very strange to her. According to her, the whole night had been, there was no other word for it, magical. They had gone to a beautiful restaurant in the village with the money she'd earned working at her aunt's shop. There were so many flowers and chocolates. Everything had been so romantic. Nagato had been a perfect gentleman, charming and a true dream, and it was difficult for her not to break her resolve to wait, as she realized she was slowly falling in love with him. Ugh, this is all such a mess. Why can't I just tell him how I feel? She wondered. It's not like he treats me any differently, is it? She asked, unsure of the answer. Although Nagato-kun has certainly been acting strange, she recalled, thinking about how tired and nervous he'd seemed lately. She'd attributed it to his work at the antique shop, but now she wasn't so sure. No, don't think like that, Ino, she scolded herself. Nagato-kun is fine, he must be. If something were wrong, he would have told me by now, she said, starting to laugh. Oh, Ino, with that attitude, you're going to scare him off before you even become a couple. If you ever dare to confess your feelings, she mused. Even so, I'll keep an eye out in case anything happens. But for now, I have to go to the stadium, she thought happily. But that's for another time. Now it's time for Naruto to shine, and I have to be there to witness it, she declared and headed off. Towards the final stadium. Sakura had arrived early at the stadium where the Chunin exam matches would be held. She had been thinking about finding Naruto before the exam started so they could talk. I know it's not the right thing to do, but I can't wait any longer, she said, almost desperately. A month of failed attempts to find him had left her on the verge of mental hysteria, not to mention the recent arguments with inner Sakura that had managed to completely stress her out. I never thought that apologizing for my mistakes would be such a problem, thought the pink-haired girl, looking around for any sign of her partner Uzumaki. Well, if you have so many problems you should forget about it, said his inner voice. It's not like the fool is anything important or anything. Just shut up already, she thought irritably. I don't want another argument about this again. She was already fed up with her other personality contradicting her and saying she was a lost cause every time she talked about making peace with Naruto. So shut up for once in your life, she said without realizing that she had said that out loud. Wow, you've got problems, said a voice next to Sakura. She turned around and saw Choji Akimichi, Ino's teammate on Team 10, looking at her as if she were crazy. Great, Sakura thought. Now he's going to think I'm crazy or something. She added, Hello Choji, what are you doing here? I suppose the same as you. I came to see the finals, although I don't just stand there and argue with myself, he said with a hint of irony. Forget what you saw, Sakura said. Hey, haven't you seen Naruto? Are you still looking for him to apologize? He asked, surprising Sakura, who looked at him intensely. Ino mentioned it once, he said simply. Bravo, Ino pig, Sakura said angrily. You can't trust friends to keep their mouths shut and not divulge your secrets, she hissed irritably. I thought you weren't friends anymore? Choji replied, confused. That's the least of it, Sakura murmured disdainfully. Yes, that's why I'm looking for Naruto. To apologize and tell him that it doesn't matter if he loses. He can count on us. Wow, what a temper, thought Akimichi with a drop of sweat. I don't think it's the right thing to do, you know? Replied the boy. What do you mean? Sakura replied, annoyed. Well, Naruto is going to a very tough competition, Choji explained. The last thing he needs is for you to come and distract him with things like that, especially when they are things that could make him nervous. Sakura started thinking about this and had to admit that Choji was right. She was acting impulsively and it could cost Naruto his participation in the exams, even though he didn't have a clear future ahead of him. But then what do I do? Sakura questioned desperately. You could wait until his match is over. As you say, I doubt he'll beat the Hyuga, but at least he could try, he said, believing that Naruto's chances were minimal and his match would end quickly. Then you can talk to him later. Do you think so? Sakura asked. She really believed that Naruto wouldn't be able to win, even though Ino said that Naruto had become very strong. He couldn't be a rival for someone like Niji Hyuga, a prodigy like Sasuke-kun. Well, I'll wait, she murmured. Come on, Choji. Let's find some seats. Okay. I hope I find Ino. I'm so eager to meet her new boyfriend. The boy murmured apprehensively as he opened a bag of chips. Does Ino have a boyfriend? Was the shout of the pink-haired girl that could be heard throughout the stadium. Ino was walking towards the stadium entrances when someone caught her attention. A girl with a casual Chinese outfit and buns in her brown hair. Perfect, she thought. Hey, Tenten-chan. And I how? She shouted. Tenten turned around when she heard her name and saw Ino Yamanaka heading towards her. Her? What does she want? She thought confused. Hello? What brings you here? She said, not knowing what to say. Be nice, Tenten, be nice, she told herself with some difficulty. Ino laughed at Tenten's awkward expression. I think the same for you, the finals, she replied. Where our classmates and friends compete, remember? Yeah, sure, Tenten murmured, unsure what to say. Ino Yamanaka was one of the people she couldn't stand, along with Sakura Haruno. But after her encounter with Naruto and a dose of humility in the form of defeat, she had resolved not to judge others before getting to know them, even if Ino was one of the village's failures in her opinion. Your teammate Shikamaru, right? Do you think he can go far? Who knows? Ino said thoughtfully. You never know with that lazybones. Even so, my bets aren't on him. And then she smiled mockingly. He's with my very beloved friend, Naruto-kun. Or you too, Tenten blurted out without thinking. When she realized what she'd said, she covered her mouth with her hands and blushed. I mean, he's a good candidate to win and all. She tried to smooth things over, but she knew the damage was done. This is going to generate more rumors, right? She asked, annoyed, not waiting for an answer. Ino smiled even more and took Tenten by the arm. Come on, we need to find a place to sit, and I want you to sit next to me, she said as she pulled her towards the entrances. I want to get to know the very famous Panda-chan better, dash. Hey, don't call me that. Tenten growled as Ino dragged her towards the stands. Come on, don't be so delicate, Ino said as she looked for a place. We're all friends here, she added as she located free places near the stadium barrier, which conveniently were next to her teammate and a pink-haired girl she knew very well. Perfect, she thought with an evil smile. I never said we were friends, Tenten murmured as she let Ino lead the way. You hurt me, Tenten-chan, Ino said in a feigned voice of pain. What will Naruto-kun think when he finds out that his beloved Panda-chan doesn't want to be near his not-so-beloved, but new friend Ino-chan? She said as she approached the seated boys. Don't bring him into this, said Tenten, who didn't want them to talk about Naruto anymore, but without knowing that that phrase could be misinterpreted in another way. Oh, so overprotective of her man, Ino teased, mocking the bun girl who blushed. But when Tenten was about to reply, Ino didn't give her a chance, as she had already arrived with Sakura and Choji. Hey guys, is this place free? Sakura turned around upon hearing that familiar voice, and as she thought about greeting her with a sarcastic comment they were already accustomed to, she realized she was accompanied by another girl, a girl who had been on her mind very recently. It's her, she thought, annoyed. Sakura had been pondering her relationship with Naruto and still couldn't find an explanation for why he refused to see her or be near her. Over time, the stress of her arguments with inner Sakura led her to believe that someone might be negatively influencing her teammate. But the question was, who? Then it all made sense. Who else but Naruto's supposed girlfriend? Since she arrived, everything had changed, and it was well known that Tenten didn't think highly of her or Ino. So it couldn't be anyone other than the very girl who, in her opinion, had replaced her in Naruto's life, taking her rightful place. Seeing her arm in arm with Ino, her mind began to form more thoughts of that kind. No way! Is she thinking of taking Ino away from me too? He thought, oblivious to the uncomfortable expression on the girl's face as Yamanaka grabbed her. Is she thinking of taking everything away from me or what? He growled mentally. Seeing the silence of the two people and Sakura's annoyed face, Ino decided to do the most sensible thing she could have done. She sat down next to them. This is going to be fun, the girl thought, seeing all the tension. Choji, Sakura, I'd like you to meet Tenten-chan. Tenten-chan, this is my teammate Choji Akimichi, she said, pointing to the boy. And I think you already know Sakura, she added with a smile, gesturing to the pink-haired girl. We've already met, Tenten murmured, looking at the girl who was staring intently at her. Is she mad at me or something? Could it be because of what happened the other day? What the hell are you thinking, Ino pig? I don't want to be anywhere near this usurper, Sakura thought irritably. And tell me, Tenten, are you here to support your boyfriend? She said in a fake sweet voice. Oh, is this the exclusive place to support Naruto-kun? Said a new voice next to them. They all turned around and saw an unknown girl with somewhat messy hair and thick glasses. Hey, Shiho-chan, you came? Greeted Ino, who seemed to be the only one who knew her. Obviously, I've been working with Naruto-kun so much that I should see the fruits of our labor, the girl murmured, sitting down next to Tenten. Hi, you probably don't remember, but I was with you at the academy, she greeted. Tenten observed the girl analytically and tried to remember. I think I remember we were together, she mentioned, having a somewhat blurry image of her in her memories. But I didn't see you again after the genin selection dash. Yes, go to the reserve, the girl said simply. You know, nobody could satisfy Kakashi Hitaki's taste until the arrival of Naruto-kun and his team. I see, Tenten said, thinking that of the genin of her generation. Only Guy's team was still active. So, what are you doing now? She asked, trying to make conversation. Oh, I work for a research group, the girl murmured. And I support Naruto-kun in his improvement. Have you been working with Naruto? Sakura asked, surprised. Another person who's been with Naruto. Am I the only one who hasn't been able to see him or what? She thought, annoyed. Yes, the girl replied. I'm Shiho, by the way. She introduced herself to the others. I've been working with Naruto-kun to prepare him for his exams this month. Another girl supporting that fool? A male voice muttered. Damn. I'm jealous of him, and at the same time I feel a degree of respect. Everyone turned to see the newcomer, Inuzuka Kiba, who was accompanied by Akamaru and Hyuga Hinata. Hey guys, said the boy with the dog. Hey Kiba. Hinata. Ino greeted. I'd like to introduce you to Tenten-chan and Shiho-chan, the blonde said to the newcomers. Hello, Hinata greeted shyly. Kiba looked suspiciously at Tenten. We already had the pleasure of seeing each other, the boy murmured, to which Tenten only blushed with embarrassment. You were a little upset that day, weren't you? Well, it was a difficult day, murmured the bun girl. Ha! Difficult, Ino said mockingly. It seems you had many arguments that day, Tenten-chan, with Naruto, with Kiba, and with Ayam-chan at least. Tenten remembered how she had confronted the cook girl and turned even redder. It's not something I'm proud of, she retorted and looked at Kiba. I'm sorry for how I treated you and what I said to you. And then she turned to Sakura. Same here for you. I was in a bad mood and took out my frustrations on you. It wasn't right of me, she said sincerely. Well, don't worry, no problem, Kiba said, forgetting about the subject and sitting down. Hinata also sat down next to Kiba. Sakura preferred not to say anything. She wasn't going to give the other girl the satisfaction of having accepted her apology. This is a very colorful group, said a new voice, one very familiar to Sakura. Would it be all right if I leave another member for you to live with? Sakura quickly turned around and saw her sensei Kakashi next to the boy of her dreams. Kakashi-sensei, Sasuke-kun. Sakura said happily. Kakashi waved back, but Sasuke just stared at her without saying anything. He decided to observe the whole group that was gathered there, the fat guy and the number 2 stalker from Team 10, the weirdo and the stray dog from Team 8, the girl from the Hyuga team, and a girl I don't know, he thought, watching Shiho, who returned his gaze with an uninterested expression. I'm glad she's not another fan like the others, he thought with satisfaction. All right, Sasuke, stay here and watch the finals with your lovely Genin teammates, he said as he looked at the group and stopped at the girl with glasses. Where have I seen her before? He thought, but then gave up when he couldn't remember. I'll be with the Jonin. And he disappeared in a shunshin, blink, Hnin, Sasuke murmured and sat down next to Hinata, who only tensed up at being near the person her clan had marked as their target. Wait, Sasuke-kun, I'll sit next to you, said Sakura, who moved from her seat and sat next to Sasuke, pushing the feet of the others. It was to be expected, thought Tenten, and seeing that Ino wasn't making a fuss about the situation, she approached her. Why aren't you upset that she's getting ahead of you? She whispered while taking a drink that Choji was handing out. Thank you, she told the boy. That's a thing of the past, he simply told her. My focus is on other matters, something more real for me, he added. This was overheard by Sasuke, who was surprised. Is it true that one of the bullies has given up? He asked in amazement. And to think I was expecting to see Naruto humiliate himself. But this is good news, he said with satisfaction. Thank Kami. Now I just have to get the other one to give up and leave me alone too. I never thought I'd give you up so easily, Tenten said, interested in the fact that one of Uchiha's fans was no longer one. I mean, no offense. Well, you know, Naruto has that ability to put everything true into perspective, he explained, knowing that she had had a similar moment with Naruto a few days ago. To put it simply, I ran into him, I tried to fight him, he beat me up, we talked, he told me what I needed to hear, and now we're friends, you understand? He said, trying to explain. Tenten knew that perfectly well, since that's what she experienced a few days ago. I know. It's happened to me, she murmured. And can I ask you what you learned from this situation? If it's not too much trouble, of course, she asked curiously. Sure, said Ino, who didn't see anything wrong with her friend's girlfriend getting to know her better. I learned that I was being a disgrace as a ninja, and that the world out there wouldn't be nice to me if I continued like this, she replied. Tenten understood this and was pleased that the girl had changed her attitude for the better. That's good. We must be better. We can't let the boys take all the credit for being shinobi, she smiled, raising her drink. You said it, sister, Ino smiled, clinking her drink against hers. Sakura, who hadn't missed this exchange, felt irritated by the minute. Stupid Ino. First she pretends she's no longer interested in Sasuke, even getting a new boyfriend, she thought angrily. And now she's already very friendly with that Tenten, she groaned in frustration. At this rate that girl is going to take everything from me dash. Now answer me something, Tenten-chan, Ino said, her evil smile returning as she watched Tenten take a sip of her drink. Have you kissed Naruto yet? Tenten could only react in one way to such a question. She spat her drink forwards and turned red. What on earth are you talking about? Oh, come on. It's obvious she means if you've kissed your boyfriend, said Shiho, who wanted to join the conversation. She found things like this interesting. I find it hard to believe that in this month of dating, the two of you haven't had a romantic moment like that, she scoffed as she picked up her glasses. Tenten mumbled, unsure what to say. She never expected the rumors to follow them here. Damn Ino and her insistence on making me sit here with her dash. While Tenten was in a mental and emotional turmoil, the other members of the group were shocked by the news they had just heard. Ino and Shiho smiled at the teasing, knowing that it would put Tenten on edge. Sakura, on the other hand, grunted more, not knowing why the insinuation that Naruto and Tenten kissed bothered her. But there were also reactions from the others who didn't know this piece of information. Sasuke and Kiba were surprised that Naruto had a girlfriend, and not just any girlfriend, but the strongest girl in the village and a year older than him. This caused Kiba's respect and jealousy for Naruto to grow by leaps and bounds. This kid is my hero, he thought. Meanwhile, Choji already knew the rumor after Ino mentioned it yesterday, but he hadn't believed it until now. Hinata, on the other hand, was seething. Naruto-kun has a girlfriend? That's impossible, she thought desperately. I love him with all my heart. Who is this girl who has come between us? Tenten found her voice and, seeing that everyone was looking at her waiting for her answer, she murmured, Those rumors aren't true. There's nothing between Naruto and me, she said, trying to quell the doubts of the others. Are you sure? Ino said with a mischievous smile. Because it's not very common for someone to carry their friends on their back, she said, surprising Tenten, who never expected anyone to find out about it. Right, Shiho-chan? Absolutely, Shiho said with a serious face, but inside she was laughing. Naruto-kun has never carried me on his back in all this time we've been friends. Have you, Ino-san? Nor, she said, feigning sadness. I feel cheated, but maybe it's a right reserved only for her beloved Panda-chan. She laughed. Stop talking about us. Tenten growled, annoyed and embarrassed. The other genin members gathered there just watched this with interest. They didn't know the truth about the relationship between this girl and the blonde Uzumaki. Sakura knew the rumor but didn't want to talk about it anymore, so she decided to change the subject soon. And tell us, Shiho-san, you said that you helped Naruto with his training. How exactly did you meet him? Shiho, who was expecting this question, already had an excuse to tell. The same thing she told Ino yesterday when they met. I work for a research group of the village council. A member of the council decided to take Naruto-kun as his apprentice and assigned him to my team to help him with whatever he needed, she explained. That's how we became friends and I helped him with his progress dash. Everyone listened to this in amazement. Only Ino, who had known this since yesterday, was still surprised by Naruto's luck for this exam. Wait, Sakura said, stunned. Are you telling me the village council is training Naruto? She asked. I can't believe it. This is amazing. I never expected Naruto to have such an honor. I expected it more from Sasuke-kun. No, Shiho said. Only a council member and he's not training him yet. She corrected him. He's testing Naruto-kun and his abilities. If he meets his expectations, he'll be trained by him, I suppose. Shiho said, Everything you see from Naruto-kun today is entirely learned by himself and with my help. The Konoha Council? Sasuke thought, annoyed. Is that dope being evaluated by a council member? Why him and not me? He growled angrily, realizing the extent of Naruto's power and influence. So she's close to my Naruto-kun too? Hinata thought, equally annoyed. Not only did she know that Tenten was her beloved supposed girlfriend, but this Shiho girl had been with Naruto all month. Why is this happening to me? She thought, almost on the verge of hysteria. I thought it was just Sakura-san. But there's also Ino-san, Tenten-san, and now Shiho-san, she grumbled. How many women are there in my Naruto-kun's life? He's not your Naruto anymore. Remember that? Came the voice from his head. You have a mission to accomplish dash. Hinata then remembered how she could no longer think about Naruto. No, she now had to think about Uchiha-san, get to know him and make him fall in love with her or at least accept being her fiancé. With sorrow in her heart, she turned to look at Sasuke. And tell me, Sasuke-san, how has your month been? It had been an afternoon of surprises, but none like this one. Seeing Hinata Hyuga talking calmly with Sasuke Uchiha was something no one expected. Ino, Kiba, and Choji's jaws suddenly dropped, and Sakura looked as if she had swallowed a lemon. Only Shiho and Tenten remained impassive but curious. Sasuke was also surprised by this. The girl had never spoken to him before. In fact, he was sure they had never spoken before. He was so surprised that he forgot his anger towards Naruto and answered simply and politely, Well, I've been training, and fell silent, confused, not knowing what else to say. Hinata knew she could no longer force the issue and also remained silent, waiting for another moment to approach the black-haired boy. I'm doing it for you. Hanabi, dash, that bitch. Inner Sakura shouted. Not only is it Ino, but now it's also the freak? She wondered. This is all Naruto and his girlfriend's fault. They pushed Hyuga to look for another suitor now that the clumsy one isn't available, she growled. But she's stupid if she thinks she can pull it off. Everyone remained silent until the silence was broken by Ino. So, we were talking about Naruto and you, right? Leave me alone, Tenten growled. Achoo! Naruto suddenly sneezed. Cheers! Shikamaru replied from beside him. They're probably talking about you somewhere, he said in a bored tone. Well, I don't blame them, Naruto said arrogantly. I'm a pleasant topic of conversation. They're probably talking about how ridiculous you're going to look, said Niji Hyuga's even more arrogant voice from behind him. I still don't know what you're doing here? You should have saved yourself the trouble of coming here and proving that you're a failure. Naruto slowly turned around and just stared at him in a tired manner worthy of Kakashi. Did you say something? You're too conceited for someone of the second class, Niji growled. Second class? Naruto murmured, confused, as he ran a hand over his forehead. Han, I don't think so, my forehead is free of marks, he said simply. You're a bastard, Niji roared, activating his Byakugan. Relax, Niji, you can still prove to your uncle that you have value for your clan later, at our meeting, said Naruto. Niji simply stormed off, vowing to humiliate the Uzumaki and wondering how he knew about the mark. Do you think it's wise to make him angry? Shikamaru murmured. He's not just any guy you can take lightly. Don't worry, Naruto dismissed. It's nothing to worry about. You're very troublesome, Shikamaru said simply. The other finalists had to agree with Nara, the Uzumaki boy. Oh, he didn't know who he was messing with, or he was too stupid to ignore it. That was the thought of a boy in green spandex. You're still being arrogant, Naruto, he muttered, annoyed. I'd really like you to beat Niji, so I can be the one to teach you a lesson, but it seems you won't last long with that haughty attitude. Knowing he was causing a stir, Naruto moved away from the finalists and sat down leaning against the wall and closed his eyes. When he opened them again, he was in the presence of Kurama. Well, Gaki, you've come. So from what I see, you're causing a stir, Kurama murmured. Well, I don't care what they think of me. If they underestimate me, they lose, and if they take me seriously, it makes it more challenging, Naruto replied. I see. And are you ready to show everyone who you really are and what you're capable of? The enormous beast said. I am Kurama, the boy said. I have most of my abilities ready, and my trump cards. I've studied all my rivals and created plans to defeat them. Plus, there's the Byakugo no in strength of 100 seal, in case of emergency. He declared. Are you sure it will work? He will, Kurama said. We just have to hope he doesn't kill you in the process, he murmured. That makes me feel more confident, Naruto muttered sarcastically. Anyway, I'm ready for this new adventure and to do it right. So let's do it, Kurama. Good, said the Biju as Naruto disappeared from the camera. Today begins our path to greatness. Naruto contestants, said a voice from an unknown Chunin, pulling all the finalists from their thoughts. The Hokage requests your presence in the center of the arena. Please go immediately. And without further ado, he disappeared in a shunshin. All right, let's go, Naruto said, walking ahead of all the other genin. With a determined stride, Naruto thought that months ago he would have been trembling with excitement to prove himself before the entire village. But today, what motivated him most was demonstrating how different he was, how much better he was than the rest. It might sound similar, but for Naruto it was different because he no longer cared about being accepted. No, he wanted them to respect his power, to ensure that no one would ever underestimate or belittle him again. He would show them that he was more powerful than they gave him credit for. After walking a bit, all the finalists arrived at the center of the arena to the roar of the crowd. Naruto opened his sensor ability and was able to detect where Shiho-chan and Ino-chan were sitting next to Kiba, Hinata, Choji, and surprisingly with Panda-chan. Sakura was also there and Sasuke was there, and Naruto realized that he had increased his strength this month. Worthy of you, Sasuke. He was also able to detect Kakashi and the other Jounin, some other acquaintances, but the one he was really looking for was Orochimaru. Yesterday, Danzo-sama had spoken with him and told him an incredible revelation. Yesterday, tell me what you want to talk to me about, Danzo-sama? Naruto asked curiously. I would like to talk about some matters that will occur tomorrow, said the old man. Tomorrow, Naruto repeated. During the exams? We don't know exactly when it will be, but what we are sure of is that it will be tomorrow, Danzo replied. And is that a bad thing? The blonde man asked. It depends on the concept of evil you associate when we talk about the missing ninja Orochimaru. Oh, Naruto simply said, present tense. An invasion. He thought, the last thing I needed was to know that there would be an attack on the village by that bastard, and the worst part is that that damn Gaara is going to be involved. Knowing that the village could be attacked at any moment made him nervous. Not to mention that we don't know what that disgusting snake is planning. Stand tall and proud before the spectators, said a voice, pulling him from his thoughts. You are the heroes of this competition. Welcome, said Hiruzen's voice. We are grateful for your presence in the proud Kanahagakure no Sato for this year's Chunin selection exams. His gaze swept over the finalists. These 9 proud participants hope to uphold the name of their villages and bring glory to their nations. So enjoy the final matches that will now begin. The crowd started making a lot of noise, excited about the start of the upcoming fights. Well, my name is Genma Shiranui, and I'll be the referee for the final matches, the man in front of them explained. He wore his ninja headband like a bandana with the buckle facing backward and sported a tactical vest, along with a senbon needle in his mouth. Excuse me, what happened to the previous referee? Shikamaru asked. It's not something that interests you, Genma said. Shikamaru just muttered in annoyance while Naruto smiled. All right, the matches will begin now, so if you would be so kind as to stay, Shino, Aburame, and Kankuro will start, said the Jounin. The rest of you go to the boxes where you were before. Wait, said Kankuro's voice before anyone could make a move. I'm out. What? Shino said, surprised and annoyed. What do you mean, kid? Genma said, narrowing his eyes. I'm withdrawing, Kankuro repeated without flinching. I couldn't get ready for the finals in time. My team isn't ready, and I have no other way to fight. What is he playing at? Naruto thought, intrigued. Is it real or is it part of his plan? So what are you doing here then? Genma grunted. Well, I wasn't going to run away. I should at least face the music. My father is up there. Forget that, Kankuro said simply. Whatever, muttered the referee and addressed the audience. Kankuro of Tsunade has decided to forfeit before the match, he shouted. Therefore, the winner of the first match is Shino Aburame of Kanahagakure. The audience began to boo, annoyed at not having seen a match after all, and this wasn't starting well for many, considering the fact that the Uchiha heir wasn't participating in the finals. They needed to have good matches to appease the masses. All right then, Temari and Shikamaru. I pointed to the boys. Your match is next, I announced. Shikamaru sighed in annoyance. Damn it, why am I so unlucky? He complained. Maybe I should just give up too and avoid the hassle of fighting. Oh no, you won't do that, Shikamaru, Naruto said seriously. Listen, I need to talk to you. Turning to the referee, he added, can I talk to him for a bit? I need to bring him to his senses. Genma, hoping there wouldn't be another deserter in the finals, since that would have a bad impact on the event and the village's name, agreed. Okay, just hurry up, Thank you, said Naruto, grabbing Shikamaru by the collar of his shirt and dragging him away. Wait a minute, you idiot, Nara said angrily as he was dragged along. What the hell are you doing? Naruto is taking Shikamaru away from the others, Sakura said, puzzled. Well, maybe he wants to talk some sense into that fool, Ino murmured, watching Naruto and his teammate talking after they had moved far enough away. Their match is next, and he'll probably want to give up too, just like that weird makeup guy. Well, Naruto-kun is good with words, Shiho said. Yesterday's speech at his party was moving. She smiled. Yesterday's party? Sakura asked, interested. Were you at a party with Naruto yesterday? Yes, yesterday we had a dinner in honor of Naruto for the finals, the girl murmured. The cooks from the ramen stand were there, Irika-sensei, Ino-san, me, and of course Naruto, she pointed out. This did not please the pink-haired girl, who angrily turned to Ino. You knew where Naruto was going to be, and you didn't tell me. Sakura growled at the blonde Yamanaka. You know very well that I've been looking for him all this month, and it didn't even occur to you to tell me that there would be a dinner for Naruto where I could talk to him? Yeah. Well, Ino said with a grimace. It was very quick and intimate, and I honestly didn't expect you to find out, she said, giving Shiho an annoyed look. Oops, sorry, said the girl with glasses, embarrassed. Intimate? The girl repeated furiously. How can there be anything intimate about Naruto without me being present? She growled. I'm practically the person Naruto feels most intimate with in the whole world. You were, Inner Sakura reminded her. Come on, don't exaggerate. Sakura? Ino said, annoyed by the girl's insistence on the subject. You know that Naruto can't stand you right now. He wasn't going to ruin his party by bringing someone he didn't want to see, she said bluntly. Sakura swallowed her argument after this. It was true that Naruto didn't want to know about her after the preliminaries. In her heart, the rejection from her partner hurt, something that had never bothered her before, and all of this made her feel terrible. Besides, like I told you, it was a small thing. Ayam-chan didn't let me bring many people. She didn't even let me bring Tenten-chan, even though she's Naruto's girlfriend, Ino added. I'm not the… Wait, Tenten said, about to reply, but something caught her attention. So the cook didn't want me at Naruto's celebration? Well, no, said Ino, who was getting more frustrated with this conversation. You know, because of what happened. Who does that damn woman think she is? Tenten said angrily. She can't forbid me from being anywhere, much less if it has to do with Naruto, she growled. She'll see next time I see her. Why were you looking for Naruto? Sasuke asked curiously. The color disappeared from Sakura's face. I told you. Inner Sakura scolded her. Stop. Stop. Nothing, Sasuke-kun. Really, she said hurriedly. Oh heavens, Shiho and Ino said with a drop of sweat on their heads as they saw all the mess that was happening. Wait, are you telling me there's going to be an invasion of the village? Shikamaru said, unable to believe it. I'm telling you, the combined forces of Oto and Suna are going to attack the village in the next few hours. And Gaara is the key, Naruto murmured. How do you know this? Shikamaru asked suspiciously. A member of the council. He's been helping me with my training, and he was the one who warned me about this, said Naruto, starting to get impatient. And why are you telling me this? Why not tell the Hokage or the Jonin or the ANBU? Said Nara, accepting that Naruto was telling the truth. Because the fewer people who know, the better. I assure you that the Hokage and the right people know, said the blonde. Besides, I'm telling you this because I trust you, Shika. I know you're smart and you'll see that you have a duty to eliminate the girl so she doesn't participate in the invasion. She's Gaara's sister, and you've seen that that boy is a monster. Then he added in his mind, literally, he thought with a drop of sweat. Do you want me to kill her? The dark-haired man asked, surprised by his friend's sadism. Of course not, idiot, Naruto growled. That could cause more trouble. Just try to keep her from getting involved for the rest of the day. I know you can do it, Shikamaru. You're the smartest kid I know. I know you'll think of something, he said, trying to convey the confidence he felt. A minute of silence followed as Shikamaru understood everything Naruto had told him. It was surprising and terrifying at the same time. And what about Gaara? I asked after a while. Naruto smiled with a confidence he certainly didn't feel. Leave Gaara to me. You just worry about eliminating Superscript 2 Hyogi-chan. I'll do the rest, he finished. Are you ready? Said Genma, approaching the boys. Yes, said Shikamaru. How the hell did I have to get involved in this? Damn Naruto. Good luck, Shika, Naruto shouted as he headed towards the top. I know you'll do great. Yeah, what a drag, muttered the Nara boy. Naruto arrived at the challengers' stands to watch this battle and stood next to Shino. I really hope you can do it, Shikamaru, he said with a sigh. A motivational talk? Shino asked. You could say that, Naruto murmured without turning to look at the boy. But I suppose you already know that, right? Suddenly one of Aburame's insects detached from Naruto's jacket and entered Shino's coat. It's a little rude to eavesdrop on people and their conversations. You know that? Naruto muttered. I'm sorry, my curiosity got the better of me, especially when it involved Suna's brothers, he said stoically. Well, now that you know what will happen, said Naruto, narrowing his eyes without yet looking at Shino. You know what needs to be done. A moment of silence fell between the two boys, broken later by Shino murmuring. Yes, I'll take care of Kankuro, he said simply. Okay, just remember, don't kill him, Naruto added. Come on, Shikamaru! The blonde shouted as if the previous conversation hadn't happened. On the sand, the second match between Temari of Tsunade and Shikamaru Nara of Kanahagakure will begin. Gunma shouted to the audience. Are the competitors ready? Let's have some fun, Temari said arrogantly. Ugh, what a nuisance, Shikamaru groaned. Again against a girl, is that a yes? Genma asked, a bead of sweat forming on his forehead. What the hell is wrong with this kid? He's an even lazier version of Shikaku. I guess so, Shikamaru murmured. I can't back down now. Good, said the Jounin. Hajime. Temari quickly pulled out her fan and launched a flurry at Shikamaru, who merely covered himself from the powerful slashing attack. Okay, let's see what this clown has, the girl murmured. Damn, this girl is psychotic, thought Shikamaru. I must keep my distance. And he ran towards the trees. You won't escape, you fool, growled the girl and sent another gust of wind towards the boy, who again received it head-on. He's a loser, the blonde thought with a smile. But the smile disappeared when a shadow appeared from behind the curtain of dirt, crawling along the ground towards her. That technique, Temari thought in alarm as she jumped back quickly. A few meters later the shadow stopped, unable to lengthen any further. Temari sighed in relief. This fool almost caught me off guard, she thought, annoyed. That was clever, said Kakashi. That's right, Shikamaru. He's a genius at this, Asuma declared proudly. Are you sure? He looks like a lucky fool like Naruto, Kurenai said, unable to believe it. Hey, Kakashi and Asuma replied at the same time. You know what I mean, everything I've seen from Shikamaru at the academy is little, almost nothing, he said, trying to make himself understood without offending his friend by speaking like that about his student. He wasn't better than Naruto in grades and attitude. Well, Shikamaru has a habit of not doing anything that makes him tired, said Asuma while observing his teammates. He's too lazy to even pick up a pencil. Also, remember that Naruto didn't have the most biased teachers you've ever met, Kakashi said, adding his to Ryo in pursuit of his student. Anyway, Asuma said, there's something about Shikamaru that few people know because he doesn't show it. And that's it, Guy asked, intrigued. He's a genius, Asuma declared, observing the arena. You have an IQ of over 200. It can't be, said Kurenai. I doubt there can be a boy that intelligent. He's more intelligent than Guy or I have. Guy just grimaced at this observation. Much more than Niji dash. Oh, Sasuke, Kakashi added, surprised. If that boy is a genius, a strategist, Asuma said, remembering all the times he lost at shogi or other games of mental skill. If he found a real motivation, he would be the most feared genin in the village. Well, whatever, Guy said with a haughty pose. Those qualities don't matter when we all know that my boys will be the ones to win this tournament. That's a very risky thing to say, Guy, Kurenai said with an annoyed smile. Remember that my genin hasn't fought yet and is going tirelessly towards the semi-finals. I'd say Shikamaru is still a contender, Asuma said seriously, then sighed. But it's more likely he won't want to continue after this encounter. Well, I still believe in Naruto, Kakashi said as he closed his eyes. I have complete confidence that he will defeat your genin Guy and become a chunin after this. Please, Kakashi, said Kurenai. That boy is here by sheer luck. Do you think he'll go far, especially after defeating the genius Hyuga? If my rival, Guy also said, not believing Kakashi's words, is an impossible dream for him dash. Kakashi just sighed and looked at his teammates before giving them one of his characteristic eye smiles. So you wouldn't mind making a bet, would you? Shikamaru is putting up a good fight, Ino said. I doubt he can do anything, Sakura said. Shikamaru isn't exactly known for being a skilled warrior. You don't know him, Ino said, defending her friend. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have made it to the preliminaries. Come on, Ino, Sakura said, not believing that Shikamaru could win. He'll most likely give up. All this is too tiring for him. I don't think so, Choji said seriously. There's something strange about Shikamaru. Something strange? Ino asked, not noticing what Choji was referring to. Yes. Naruto said something to him that made him change his attitude. he replied. He probably told her he'd kick her ass if she didn't win or something, Ino said, amused. Shikamaru isn't one to fall for threats, Choji said, then opened a bag of chips. Anyway, we'll just have to wait. Tenten, who was listening to all this, was surprised by the teammates' confidence in the Nara boy. She looked at the arena and wished it had been her who could get revenge on Temari. Come on, Shikamaru, do it for Konoha. Collect that debt for me, please, on the sand. As the smoke cleared, Temari began to analyze the strategy of the boy she was facing. Being on that side of the barrier gives his jutsu a lot of range, almost 30 meters, she said as Shikamaru's figure appeared and watched as the attack still failed to reach her. The more time passes, the more chances this clown has of catching me. I must finish this quickly. The good thing is that my attacks are long range, she thought with a smile. Temari on top of you, Kankuro shouted. She raised her face and saw something in the sky, some kind of object floating. What is that? She asked. Is it a kunai? But she could no longer think when the object began to cast a shadow on the floor, and upon coming into contact with the shadow of the Kagemain no Jutsu, shadow possession jutsu, it began to extend again in the direction of Temari. No! She thought in alarm as she jumped back again. This thing is extending its reach, it's going to catch me. I've got you now, Shikamaru shouted, but the attack was halted again, unable to extend any further. All right, I have to finish this, Temari thought, planning one last jump back to prepare her attack when, I can't move, Temari murmured to herself. Finally, Shikamaru smiled arrogantly. Successful shadow claw technique. What? Choji asked, surprised. This is impossible, Ino said. He too. Sasuke growled, his Sharingan activated. Can he do it too? What did he do? Sakura said, unable to understand. Wow, Tenten said, while inside she was jumping for joy. Well done, Shikamaru. I can't believe you're going to teach him that. Asuma, Kurenai said in surprise. I didn't teach it to you, Asuma said slowly, unaware that Shikamaru could do it. That's juvenile, Guy said, raising a fist. Damn it. She let herself be fooled, Kankuro growled. Gaara just watched impassively. Who would have thought he could do something like that? I guess he must be on his last legs after all the chakra he's been wasting, said Niji. I think he was just hoping to win this fight and that's it. Even so, it was something I didn't expect, Lee said, surprised. Interesting, Shino murmured. Who would have thought there was another genin who could do it besides you, Naruto? Kakashi thought. Hee. Well done, Shika, Naruto thought with a smile. How the hell did you do it? Temari shouted, unable to move. Your shadow can't reach me. I can see it in front of me and I prevented it from doing so. I think you worried too much about what's in front of you and too little about what might be behind you, said a voice behind her. That was your mistake, little girl. Temari then began to sweat profusely. That voice, she thought frantically. How did you do it? Naruto isn't the only one who can do the Kagebushin no Jutsu, shadow clone jutsu, Shikamaru said with a sly smile from behind her. Yes, Ino shouted. That's my partner. Amazing. I never imagined Shikamaru would be able to do the Kagebushin no Jutsu, Choji said, very proud of his friend. It's a difficult technique, but not impossible, Shiho said, assessing the situation as she put on her glasses. His chakra must be at its limit. How is it possible that she learned that technique? Kurenai said. So you're forgetting that his father is a clan leader and a member of the council? Kakashi reminded him. I'm not referring to how he knew it, but to the way he and Shikaku are. How is it possible that they took the time for Shikamaru to learn that technique? She replied, confused. Well, seeing her son in the finals, Asuma explained with a drop of sweat on his forehead. Yoshino forced Shikaku to train Shikamaru seriously, and she didn't leave them alone until she was happy, he said, remembering how Shikamaru told him about the difficult month he spent under the watchful eye of the Nara matriarch. And what do you plan to do now? Temari asked, furious at having fallen into the boy's trap. I know very well that your chakra is running out. When this jutsu ends, I will tear you to pieces. Yeah. Well, Shikamaru said lazily as he took out a sunbon needle. You won't have time for that, he finished, throwing it over Temari's back. Temari only felt the impact. The attack had not been harmful beyond the slight pain of it becoming embedded in her body. "What's wrong?" mocked the blonde. "Don't you dare attack a lady?" Shikamaru just sighed as his jutsu ended a minute later. "Damn, I'm out of chakra," he said as he collapsed to the floor, exhausted. "Okay, now it's my turn," Temari said when she realized something. "What the heck? Why can't I move? You thought I'd be foolish enough not to have a backup plan?" Shikamaru said, smiling as he knelt on the ground. "I used a paralysis poison courtesy of my friend Ino, so you won't be able to move for the next 12 hours. There are plenty of ways to keep a troublesome girl still besides jutsu," he finished arrogantly. "The winner is Shikamaru Nara," Genma announced. The stadium erupted in applause for Nara's victory and for his strategy with the girl from Suna. "Good job, Shikamaru," Ino shouted as everyone else except Sasuke applauded for their friend. "You'll pay for this," Temari roared, unable to move. "I admit it," the boy murmured. "I'm not surprised you said that, Hyogi-chan," he teased with a wink. "That's my friend," Naruto laughed.
Hey, if you are here and want more seasons of this great fanfic, don't forget to give your comment asking for the next season. So, bye bye.